are live from Charlotte Motor Speedway. This is the Coast to Coast Cup Series here with a little bit of a throwback race here at Charlotte. I am Jonathan Camfield. I'm joined in the booth tonight by Adam Kuhn and Jonathan Parker. Guys, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing well, excited for another broadcast here in the Coast to Coast Cup Series, and excited to be with you two. It should be an interesting race. Like you mentioned, it's Throwback Weekend, so I'm looking forward to it, and I think it's going to be a great follow-up to the race we saw last week at Chicagoland last weekend.
Yeah, I'm excited too. Charlotte's an interesting little track. This is a place where Harviking works really well, getting to that paint and just wrapping it. So I'm very excited to see people try and do that tonight.
You mentioned wrapping the bottom line there, Parker, and right now as we look at the top of the boards, our winner from last week showing that he wants to win another one here tonight. Ollie Reeves already to the top of the board here in practice as we have 3 minutes to go. So looking like it could be another strong week for this 31 car.
Yeah, he put on a pretty good show last week at Chicago, like you mentioned, winning last week. Wasn't the most dominant car there at Chicagoland, but was strong all race and put himself in a contention winner and mattered there in that last one to the end. And it really was an interesting sprint to the finish there in that last stint. And pretty much all these drivers are going to have to put themselves in positions to do the same again tonight.
Well, Parker, we'll turn it over to you. And who you got your eye on here early on in this practice?
Honestly, I don't really know who I got my eye on. I'll keep my eye on several people. Seth Warren seems pretty quick, and I'm pretty familiar with him. Also, Gino Mara, I know he's wicked quick everywhere. I've had some fun battles with him in some other leagues. So I'm going to keep my eye on both those guys. They should be fun to watch.
With about 2 minutes left in practice, Adam, do you want to go over our point standings as they stand right now?
Sure, Jonathan. It's going to be the points the way they are with the drop weeks in effect. So 2 races are dropped basically for everyone, and we're 5 races deep right now, halfway in this season 0, 5 to go. Mentioned Cody Rivera is the point leader right now, just 21 points ahead of Ollie Reeves, last week's winner. But Cody Rivera is the only repeat winner this season, guys. And James Thurston in third, 25 points back. Dropped out of last week's race at Chicago, was the point leader before then. And Ellis Wells, 36 back. And Brian Lorenzo, we mentioned him up there on top of the boards, close to that, man. He had a really strong finish last week at Chicago, trying to go forward. And guys, the way the points are in this league, way different. Get a lot of points for finishing him up at the front. I don't know exactly if it's based off anything, but basically I think it's 90 for the win.
I like it when points are stacked more towards awarding finishing up front more than anything else there. But yeah, I don't know if that's based off anything, but it's a pretty interesting point system.
Well, and Adam, you mentioned Brian Lorenzo being at the top of the board this week. We've seen him put on a pretty good show last week. I mean, we were watching him. You and I both were looking at the ticker with about 5 to go, and he was pretty far back. And yet somehow, some way, without any help from draft, really, because we assume he was out of the draft, he pulls up there and sneaks out of 3rd place. And now you talk about his point situation. Well, he's right here in the points, and now he's at the top of the board here in towards the top of the board here in Charlotte.
Yeah, it's going to be really crucial tonight to stay up there and try and score some very important points, like I mentioned, halfway after last week's race at Chicago. So with the drop weeks, counting 2 of your worst finishes, really, if you've already had the gimmies, there is no rest, and you have to just keep your head down and hope for the best tonight and keep on going forward here to get the best out of what's left of the season.
Well, and with that, practice comes to an end, so we will go straight into our qualifying, and we'll watch to see who the first car is going to be on track. Looks like it's going to be the 07 of Wes Gallo, followed by the 23. Wes Gallo pulls it out and pulls it to a stop, so we'll go on board with the 23, Nicholas Borski, driver we've seen have some good speed, just some untimely errors. And Adam, I think we kind of owe him one for last week.
Yeah, I would say a little bit. That was not our brightest moments here on JCTV, but we learned from it, and we're going to move forward from that tonight, I think. I hope.
Absolutely. So tonight we will let the drivers get their pit stop in after the stage break before we pull up and talk to our stage winner to try and avoid that specific scenario of last week. Because in all honesty, Borski was never able to recover last week. He spent the rest of the race out back and did not have a good finish even after winning the stage. But we'll see what he puts down here coming across the line for his first lap. He'll temporarily go to the top of the board with a 31.018. See if he improves. As right now, it looks like Ellis Wells is going to go to the top of the board. Borski's 0.8 off after his first lap.
Now it's Wells top of the board, like you mentioned, just 0.2 of a second faster, 0.02 of a second faster than what Ollie Reeves put down on his first lap.
See Ellis Wells coming across the line here. Puts down a 30.165. That was his best lap, so he did improve. Right now, top of the board. I see Cody Rivera's is out there. But he's already ran his lap, so Cody Rivera's is done qualifying. Just getting extra practice.
Yeah, he jumped up to the second position. Luke Mahone jumped up to third also, ahead of Ollie Reeves.
The 52 of Brian Lucan is out here for his qualifying effort. He's coming across the line to finish his first lap here. See what he can put down. Or, I'm sorry, he was coming across the line to start his lap. So now Brian Lucan comes across the line, and he'll put down a 31.116. That'll put him in 17th currently. See if he can improve on that first or that second lap. A little loose out of the corner there. He does improve a 30.932. But that still leaves him in 18th. Jackson Glen Austin out here on his first lap in that number 21 Monster Energy Camaro.
This is his white flag.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Yeah, he went 20th on his first lap.
Look, reading is hard for me sometimes, so
I understand, trust me.
Seeing a lot of numbers on the screen over here, but we'll see what Jackson puts down on his second lap. First lap was a 30.610. This lap was a 30.5. That puts him in the 15th position.
That one's kind of shocking to me. He's gotten really used to these next gen cars. I'm surprised he isn't further up the grid, but we'll see as the race goes along if he can move his way up.
And right now, with no time left on the clock, I see no one else eligible to make a qualifying lap out there. So we will go ahead and pull up the starting grid here. So on your front row, it is going to be Ellis Wells and Cody Rivera, followed by Warren and Mahone on the second row. Third row is going to be Ollie Reeves, with Gino Morrow to his outside. Then it's going to be Schumacher and Miles on the row 4, followed by Green and Bomar on row 5.
Brian Lorenzo is going to start in 11th with Brandon Fielder alongside him on row 6. Brad Sawinski starts 13th with Shockey Tarpley starting 14th. Jackson Glen Austin qualified 15th. Brendan Fowler in the 4 qualified 16th. Nicholas Borowski starts in the 17th position, while Patrick Kuliako in the 18 starts in 18th. And Brian Lucan starts 19th. And Tristan Troll, the last of our drivers to take time in time trials, rolls off in 20th.
And drivers that didn't take time. 21st is Austin Duran, Wes Gallo in 22nd. Starting 23rd will be Drew Webb, and 24th will be James Thurston. And rounding out your field will be Jason Beckman and Hunter Collier.
So that is your starting grid here tonight on JCTV. But as mentioned, starting up front, it's going to be Ellis Wells leading them to the green here tonight. 117 laps. Adam, we've kind of gotten used to this field. Parker, this is kind of your first week, but we'll go ahead here while they're on the grid. And Parker, since it's your first week, we'll let you swing for the fences and see if you hit a home run. Who's your pick to win here tonight?
I'm going with Gino Morrow. I really like his pace. His long run pace is insane. And he races really hard but really clean, so I'm going with Gino.
Adam?
I'm going to go with Luke Mahone. That 5 pretty good in qualifying, the way he was just able to settle around the track. No, it wasn't top of the boards, but he looked pretty comfortable around this track.
I think I'm going to have to go with last week's winner. I think he's going to double it up and have a good night here tonight. I'm going to go with the 31 of Ollie Reeves. Starting up front in that 5th position, but we've seen him start plenty of other times back towards the back of the top 10. Even last week, wasn't really up front too much until the later stages, but brought home a win at the end. So I'm looking for Ollie Reeves to go, back to back. Take a good look at the field there. A lot of drivers came out here to make this a good race. A lot of throwback schemes. The pace car is going to pull to the safety of pit road here, and we are going to go green. The field is in the hands of Ellis Wells. We are going to wait for the green flag and fire off. Green flag is out, and we are racing at Charlotte. See already a lot of side-by-side. Everybody trying to get positions where they can as they come down here into 3 and 4. Looks like the high line might have a little bit of an advantage, but right there you see the advantage of the low line. Ellis Wells pulls through the middle and gets back to the lead, and he'll lead lap 1.
How about that start for Seth Warren, getting a pretty good start on that bottom lane, going up in the 3rd position now. Challenging Cody Rivera for that 2nd position now as they get fanned out in the background. It's Morrow side by side with Luke Mahone going into 2 and 3.
Still side by side going into 1 here, and hits the bottom. Gets around the 5 of Luke Mahone. Doing a little bit of a crossover there, but I don't think he's going to have the run.
No, it's going to allow Ollie Reeves to get in this fight there. He's on the outside of Luke now, going through 3 and 4, and is going to take that position on the front straight away.
Yeah, last time I drove... Oh, excuse me, you can go first.
Looking back here, we've actually got a little bit of action going on. Nicholas Borowski, Sawinski, and Jackson Glen Austin, they're all in this fight, along with the 25 of Shockey Tarpley. Got a lot of battling for position back here. We almost had 3 wide on the front straightaway. Now you see 2x2 between Jackson, Glen, Austin, Sawinski, and then Bowerski and Tarpley. I'm not quite sure what just happened to, I believe that was the, let's say 55? I don't have a 55 on my roster, so I'm not sure what number he's supposed to be, but a lot of blinking out of that car.
Yeah, I saw that. That was I didn't know quite what I was watching, but go to my point what I was going to say earlier. It's just last time I drove these cars and when I was testing a little bit early just to get a little bit of a feel for what these drivers are going to be going through tonight. And the outside could work for a little bit earlier in the run, but the later it goes, it gets so tight up top, and it makes it very hard to make moves. So you got to really be aggressive early in these runs to get track position on guys.
See right here, Brian Lorenzo trying to make the move on the 24 of green. Just not able to make it stick right now, but as you mentioned, oh, right there, green grabs a little bit of the wall, and that'll open up the door for Lorenzo to finally complete the pass. So right there, I think is what you were just talking about, Parker, the car getting tight on the top side and just pushing out to the wall. I think we just seen that with the 24.
Yeah, very, very easy to squirt the throttle just a little too much and just lose the front end.
See the two
Also
of
burns
James
up your tires, too.
Bomar tempting that outside a little bit. He's trying to find a way to get a run on this 5 car of Luke Mahone, who's also trying to find a way to get back around Ollie Reeves.
Yeah, I've been watching Boma. He has been one of the most aggressive using the outside lane. I believe he caught the wall for turn 2 about 3 or 4 laps ago when he was racing Brian Lorenzo in 77. But it seems to be no harm, no foul, because he easily made move on that 77, and here he is racing Luke Mahone now, going through 3 and 4, staying up there on that top side right now.
Absolutely, James Bomar showing these guys how to use the high side to make passes right now. Still working on Mahone, but not really letting Mahone run him wide. He's pinching Mahone. You see Mahone sliding up the track a little bit there. Bomar gets the pass done with that move, and that's going to open the door for Lorenzo to get a run to the inside of Mahone. But Mahone goes in deep into 3 and 4, and he's all over the bumper of Bomar now.
Ollie Reeves might have did some yard work going through the double dog leg on the front straightaway, almost, if not touched the left side tires in the grass there, trying to get on the inside of Ollie Reeves. He did get that position on the inside of the 31, but was not able to take advantage of it through 1 and 2. Going back to the top now, under pressure from Luke Mahone again.
I see what Bomar is doing, and I like the move. He's going a little high, but he's driving down the corner. And I mean, Parker, you can probably attest to it. That is the best way to get momentum coming out of a corner, is to drive down the track and just try to reel a driver in. As you see him now trying to work over the outside of Ollie Reeves. And they're all catching this 95 of Gino Morrow.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the best ways to get clean air to your nose, and then you get a run off the corner. You saw Denny Hamlin try to do that in the real-life NASCAR race on Sunday. Really high entry, and then kind of diamonded it down at the exit of the corner trying to get a run on Larson. Bomar's kind of doing that same thing here, just on the bottom, really.
Take a look towards the back at some guys not having as good of a run. 26 of Austin Duran has 55 on the doors, but it's 26 here in Sim. Looks like the 18 of Patrick Coluccio is going to look to his inside, try to get a spot here towards the back. So these guys are battling just for the top 20 position. You see just behind them is the 13 of Drew Webb out here in the 21st position. And all the way back here in 23rd is Wes Gallo. You know, guys, I said it off air. Wes Gallo was at one point in the top 5 in speed charts in practice. So I just haven't seen Wes Gallo put down any qualifying and haven't seen him really run up front. And I feel like he's a capable driver and has the speed to do it. Just so far has not shown that kind of intensity that he needs yet.
Yeah, you're right. It seemed like he did show decent pace. I don't know if he's just kind of maybe waiting, expecting carnage. As his cars leading on each other ahead of him, actually. Austin Duran making contact with the 18, but yeah, it's just very shocking to see him back here. We'll see if he can't move his way up to the front.
Back up front, though, it is all Ellis Wells, but he's not alone. Cody Rivera's is there and trying to... Looks like he might be trying to run that higher line here to get a little bit of momentum on the 57. And they've put a little gap to themselves in the 81 of Warren.
Yeah, I've been watching this battle for the lead most of the race, guys, and Cody Rivera has been searching around the track using any line Ellis hasn't been running, just trying to search for something to get around this 57. Last time through 3 and 4, he ran that higher lane, and he had a really good run on the front straightaway, probably the closest he's been to the rear bumper of Ellis was for that lead, and doing a good job keeping up, like you mentioned. It was a 3-car breakaway with Seth Warren staying right there, but they have slowly gapped away from the 81 car.
An important note that we did not discuss here before the broadcast. Stage break, end of lap 45. And other important note, pit road closes for these guys when the leader takes the line for lap 44. So if you want to pit before the stage, if you're one of the guys that isn't going to get points, but you could benefit on track position, you got to pit before lap 44. But also, end of lap 45 is when we'll be handing out those stage points to the top 10.
Well, guys, we almost just had a caution. I was listening off of turn 2, and I heard about 4 or 5 cars scrape the outside wall there, and I believe one of them might have been the 13 Drew Webb, and we are 3 wide through turn 2 because of a stack up with Nicholas Borowski, and there's going to be contact with Wes Gallo. He saves it all the way on the apron.
Wes Gallo gathers it up, but man, is that going to kill his momentum. And yet again, we just talk about Wes Gallo, and you know, I think Parker had a point there with him just trying to be patient and hang out in the back, but this is also kind of what you could get sometimes when you do hang out at the back of a race, is guys that maybe don't know how to drive the track, or guys that can be driving over their heads sometimes, and that could put you in trouble too.
He did have a great save, though, because I can't tell you how bumpy that backstretch is on the apron. It's very easy for the car to just catch air, and then you lose in. It's kind of not really your fault, but he did a good job of making sure that car didn't ricochet back up to into traffic.
Back
up
front,
guys, we have a change for the second position. I said these guys were pulling away from Seth Warren, but he was able to get by Cody Rivera. He did it pretty easily there, and trying to gap that 36 car now.
Oh, looking at the gap is about the same for Warren. It looks like Rivera's has just fallen off here, and that's what really surrendered the second spot to Warren, because Warren is still about 4/10 back in the lead. But you see the ticker on your screen, he's hanging around that half-second mark, but in the corners, he's actually closing just a little bit.
I wonder if Cody Rivera didn't overheat his tires a little bit, being in Wells' dirty air, because it's very easy, and that along with he was obviously using a higher line, and it's just very easy to burn up your tires doing that at this track. It's such a line-sensitive racetrack. So maybe he's just trying to cool out on his tires. Maybe he can make a run back at them.
As we're looking on your screen, Jackson Glen Austin continues to move up through the field right now, just completing the pass for 10th on Volmar. Jackson Glen Austin doing a good job here early on to get through this field.
Absolutely, and James Beaumont is having a little bit of a struggle right now. We saw him fighting for a top 5 position, and you mentioned just slipped outside of the top 10 now. He's going to put a fight there to Jackson to try and get back in there, but can't do it. The 25 is going to try and get to his inside here. That's Chucky Topley, and just behind him, big moment there. I believe that was the 3 Brandon Fielder almost washing up into the door of Matthew Miles.
You mentioned the 2 falling. He was one of the first ones and to be up top. And I think he just did that a few times too many, and Also called out in qualifying that Jackson. I was surprised to see him qualify all the way back there. So it's very good to see him moving through the field because I know he's got pace to win the race. So very good to see him moving through the field early as 25 makes a little contact with him.
The 25 made contact with him, and I think Bomar got into the back of Tarpley there.
Oh, I think you're right. It just kind of stacked them up, and I don't think Omar wanted to lose his momentum.
Definitely stacked them up. Now you throw the 30 back in the picture, and even Solinski, he's in it now. And who is that back there? That's the 3 car of Brandon Fielder. They're all in this mix now for this fight for 10th. So this is a big battle. We're just a little bit under 20 laps to go, about 19 laps to go until we hit the stage break, and this is it right here. About 6 drivers all around each other just for that 10th spot, that last stage point.
Oh, Bowman with the moment there through the center turn 4, gonna come off turn 4 a lot slower than Brad Swinski's gonna go to the outside there and try and take this pass, but he's not gonna have enough momentum to do so.
Car on the wall a little bit there, coming off of turn 2. See Austin Duran getting
and just behind him. Yeah, behind him, Austin Duran made a move to force Brandon Fielder out of the way a little bit in turn 1.
Brandon Fielder is going to battle back here to the outside.
Up in the last stage point spot, Rocky Carpley got past Jackson Glen Austin. Just about got in the wall off of 2, but he did complete the pass.
Sorry, Puck, but speaking of getting on the wall off
good.
turn 2, Matthew Green just got the wall off for turn 2, and that's the 9th position. He was a second ahead of these guys a lap ago, but he lost a ton of momentum down the back straightaway with that contact with that safer barrier there.
Ooh, he's in the wall again on the front straightaway, entering the corner.
Yeah, Shocky's going to try and, of course, run him down so he can put some cushion between him and that pack of guys racing for that last stage point behind him, which he, of course, currently holds.
And back up front, I'm noticing Cody Rivera's continues to fall down to 5th now, battling with Brian Lorenzo for that 4th spot. But right there to the inside is Ollie Reeves as well. Ollie Reeves looking to pounce for the 5th spot.
Yeah, Ollie Reeves has been... Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry.
Reeves has been fighting for that 5th spot almost the entire race and hasn't been able to make it happen, as there might be contact there off turn 4.
There was definitely contact. Lorenzo washed up the track and got into the side of Rivera's. Now Lorenzo back behind Reeves. Reeves to the 5th spot. Rivera's holds on to that 4th spot. Let's see if anybody can get around him.
I was just about to say, it seems like a lot of these guys are really, really struggling for grip. And when they updated these the tire parameters for this car at the beginning of the season, ever since then, if you slide your tires just once or twice, you're usually in for a very long run. So, and the way these guys have been racing, they've all been pushing really hard. So it wouldn't shock me if some of these guys really just want to get a new set of tires on these cars.
Have a side-by-side battle for the 7th position. It's going to be Luke Mahone trying to get around Alexander Schumacher here on the front straightaway now. I believe Luke's going to have the advantage here going to turn 1 and clear the 68 car. But Alexander's going to fight back here through the center of 2.
Doing a good job of holding it on the outside, not really pinching too much. They almost crashed right behind them.
Oh, there, yep. That's the 26th Austin Doran almost getting the inside wall there.
Yeah, once again, did a good job of saving it. It's really hard to go down there and save it. We've seen that quite a few times. But shocked Alexander Schumacher's not pinching harder. If you pinch a little bit harder than what he is, you can kind of prevent them from really getting a run on you. It is a risk because obviously if you end up sliding up, you could easily end up wrecked. But in this situation, you kind of just want to get single file, especially at this point in the run, kind of regardless of who gets out front.
So the incident with Austin, or the near incident with Austin Dillon happened because he caught Matthew Green, that 24 car, who he saw catch the wall about 5 or 6 laps ago. And when he came off turn 2, he was too tight, caught the 24 car first, and then shot it to the inside, did a good job saving it. But now Brett Sawinski has that 10th position away, and now trying to challenge for that 9th spot on the 24.
Sawinski going to make the move to the inside here. And all but clear the 24. Now he clears through the center of the corner. And the 24 just looks really, really tight right now. As now the 26, Doran's going to get by the 24. 24 is starting to drop here. Still dropping.
The wall.
Yeah. Just really out of control that 24 car is right now. Just one of those people begging for tires. Just did not take care of them that much over this course of this run.
Wow, and you still see it right there off turn 4.
Within 10 to go on the stage. Up front, it's still all the same. Ellis Wells, Seth Warren, Gino Morrow, Brian Lorenzo, Ali Reeves, and Rivera's has dropped back to 6th. We're watching the battle for 10th right now with all these cars right here, because this is the battle for that final stage point. Right now, the 28 and the 26 have both separated themselves a little bit. I don't think that Chalky Tarpley is going to go down without a fight for this last stage point. Now that he's cleared to 24, expect to see Tarpley get up there and battle with these guys.
And just behind the guy who was in that 10th position just a few moments ago, Jackson Glen Austin fighting. Yep, fighting for 15th, but they stack up right ahead of him with Matthew Green.
Yeah, the 24 got the wall big time there. That's big time damage. Just really struggling.
And you see who else has peaked their name up here now. Wes Gallo up into 15th. Showing some signs of life here late in this stage. Maybe Wes Gallo can drive his way up here if he's been hanging out in the back and took care of his tires. Maybe Wes Gallo can steal a stage point. It's not far out of his reach, and he's got time to do it. He just needs to negotiate these cars as quickly as possible.
The thing is, Brett Sawinski and Austin Durant are starting to run away. Those the last 2 drivers with the stage points currently, with coming to 6 to go in the stage, so he's got to make quick work of the 3 ahead of him before he catches those 2.
Regardless, he's having pretty good rebound because we thought it was pretty dire when he was just kind of sitting back there, but he's definitely gotten this.
Jackson on the wall.
Yeah, Glen Austin in the wall big time.
Yeah, it started with Fielder hitting the wall, and Jackson just kind of followed him in there. And Wes Gallo had a check because of it. Here comes Green to the bottom now.
Well, Wes Gallo put a lot of air under Jackson's spoiler.
Oh,
Wes
he's in the wall.
Gallo's in the wall now, too.
Goodness.
But Wes Gallo put a lot of air under the spoiler, and I think that's what drove Jackson up to the wall. Not sure what happened to the 3 car, but Jackson had a lot of air being pushed up behind him. If not, maybe even some contact. Wes Gallo was just putting the bumper to the 21, trying to get him tight or get him loose, one or the other. These next gens, they can kind of go either way.
At the exit of these corners, these next-gen cars have such a tendency, at least for me, to be really tight. And if you don't use the right technique, you can't yank more wheel into it. You just have to let off. You just have to have the right throttle modulation. And if you don't do it right, you'll be in the wall.
Chalky Tarpley and the 30 of Matthew Miles battling for this 11th spot. Right now, Miles going to get the advantage, as he is now clear and in clean air. but with about three, maybe 2.5 laps, about to be 2 as the leader's coming across the line now. I don't think he's going to have time to run down 10th place. He's about 2 seconds back.
Mentioning the leaders, Ellis Wells just put our first car 1 lap down. Out of those running, Brian Lucan falls a lap down to Ellis Wells, and battle for third was on Brian Lorenzo. Got the position, or has the position. Gino Mauro tried taking it from him.
And I'm not sure what happened to the 3, but Brandon Fielder pulls it down pit road and doesn't make a stop. So as we are on the last lap of the stage, Ellis Wells so far has led from the drop of the green flag, and he has not looked back. 2.2 seconds is the gap. So far, a dominant performance for the 57. He's going to be your stage 1 winner. Take a look back here at Doran. He's going to be your final stage point driver. And that'll do it for the stage here at Charlotte.
Well, I looked back at the replay. Brandon Fielder did look like he took 4 tires on his pit stop. The thing is, he's not going to be the lucky dog, so I don't know what exactly his strategy was, because I believe he did make it in pit road before the pits were closed. But he's not going to be. He's going to have to take the wave around and be rear the field here, with having to catch up on 1 to go for the restart.
That's quite a bizarre strategy. It's usually you only see that at a really big ovals of the road course.
You see all the drivers
you
going
see
to make their pit stops here. Once they make this pit stop, I believe we're going to try and get a hold of our stage winner.
Oh, and there was a situation on pit road. Brian Lucan, the lap vehicle and the lucky dog came down pit road with the lead lap vehicles, and it was just a mess of everyone trying to find the pit stall.
Yeah, not sure what Lucan was doing, but I also show Fowler 1 lap down in the 4 car as he's pulling off pit road right now. So no, Lucan just not sure what the strategy was there.
Looks like Brian Lorenzo is going to win the race off pit road over Ellis Wells.
Followed by, looks like Gino Mauro, Ali Reeves, Cody Rivera's, Luke Mahone, and then Austin Duran for your pit road battle.
All right, well, let's hear from our stage winner, Ellis Wells. Hey, Ellis, you got a copy?
I got you.
Well, pretty dominant first stage, though. What do you have to think and say so far, 45 laps into this race tonight?
I mean, yeah, that was fun for me, honestly, because the practice I've done with the team. I already knew that if I can just stay out front, I'm gonna be way better than everybody else, just because that's how the car works. That's how the car works at this track. I definitely, I don't know how I'm gonna feel about the fuel thing, just staying in the lead the whole time, because I don't know if you guys realized, but entering 3, going into pit lane, I was out. I was coasting. So yeah, I had just enough fuel. It was, that was a bit nerve-wracking, because I knew that I had enough fuel to win the stage, but I didn't know if I had enough to do the pace lap. I think right after I crossed the start finish, I was at .7, and I still had a lap and a half to go. It was scary.
No, we had no idea about that. What are the few concerns for the rest of this race, and what's a little bit of your strategy here for this last stage?
I mean, my strategy is just to keep clean air. That's really what it is. I know, like it's going to be really slow if you run directly behind somebody, because that wears your tires. But the other problem with that is if that person just holds a certain line. I'm not going to say it. I don't know who's listening. If the person holds a certain line, if you go anywhere else, your tires are going to die. So it's really a game of chess, this track. But I think I can do pretty good. I'll have a good finish.
All right, well, keeping clean air. Came off pit road second. What do you have to do to get around the 77?
I think I just gotta push, do my thing. If I can get the lead early, even if I wear my tires a bit, it's worth it. And honestly, I think Brian, I'm not sure what he did. I'm not sure where he entered pit road, so I'm not sure how exactly he got to the lead. But hey, the power to him. I know he's good at this track, so I do need to beat him. It's gonna be tough.
All right, well, good luck, Ellis. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, thank you.
That was our stage winner here tonight at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Alice Wells is going to line up second for this restart for the last stage here tonight, guys.
Yeah, he really stressed the importance of clean air, so I'm really excited to see how aggressive he's going to end up being. So I want to see how people respond to that, because it seems pretty common knowledge that the clean air is really important here. So I just wonder how aggressive everyone's going to be.
Guys, I'm a little confused. Was I the only one that just seen Tristan Troll fly by the field as we're coming?
He has been given.
Yeah, he got waved around.
He was given an EOL under that caution, I think, and then he just got all of his blacks cleared. So I think he got lapped unfairly a few times.
Okay, I was slightly confused there. I'm sure I wasn't the only one, as the folks at home were watching, but thank you guys for clearing that up. So the pace car pulls to pit road. The stage is complete. We run it out from here. Brian Lorenzo gets off to a good start there. See, Ellis Wells not as good of a start. He's going to try and jump to the inside line in front of Gino Morrow. He's going to take the run to the outside off of turn 2 and see what he can do with it.
Oh, crash in the back.
Shocky Toby in the inside wall.
Pull up the JCTV replay and take a look at what happened there.
Man, there was contact with James Bomo, but I don't think that two car really had anywhere to go.
He just got loose off of 2 on those cold tires, and see there, just really nowhere for the 2 to go, and then down on the inside wall he goes.
It's a tough break for the 25. Now we'll take a ride with this 25 car and see what happened from the cockpit. Oh. It's not good for the 25. But it looks like the car is still straight. Maybe it might have a bent toe link, but doesn't look like he did too much damage there on that spin.
Well, guys, interesting to note, behind the pace car here, 57 got scored as the leader, so Alice Wells, even though they were still side-by-side racing for that lead, is going to be scored ahead of Brian Lorenzo on this next restart here.
Yeah, and looking at the track map, we've got some splitting strategies already. I see the 07, the 4, the 24, the 81... a couple other drivers. Obviously the 25 who was involved in that accident pulls it down. But the 81 looks like maybe the 3 car, the 4, The 18 and the 07 all electing to go off strategy here a little bit. Maybe just go to top off on fuel. But still, that's going to set them off strategy and allow them to run a little bit longer, or maybe even set them up to run harder than some of the drivers in front of them. I mean, we know drivers out here. We just heard Ellis Wells talk about the fuel strategy game. We know some of them are out here coasting, as it looks like ATVO has completely crashed on me. Indeed it has, so I will try to get that pulled back up here for you folks. But talk about the move made by Ellis Wells to get to the lead. And just timely caution allows him to be able to now control the restart when we go green.
Yeah, Ellis Wells got what he wanted. He got his clean air. Probably not how he envisioned it quite doing it. Probably thought he was gonna have to fight a little bit harder, but just when the caution came out, he got his lead, and very dangerous, obviously, when he can control the race. He's doing a very good job so far, and see if he can't close it out.
And I was able to get ATVO pulled back up, so we are back to normal. Not quite sure what happened there.
Apparently, we only have 91 laps according to the ticker, but that's okay.
We will keep you all updated. I assure you it's not 91 laps, but ATVO, it has its gimmicks every now and again, and there is one of those gimmicks rearing its head right there.
Race is 117 laps. That's the race length. Quickly approaching halfway in the race.
Well, getting ready for this next restart. Going to be a flipped restart here for this front row. Going to be interesting to see what's going to happen with Brian Loons on the outside this time. And Gino Morrow was pretty aggressive on the last restart, but wasn't able to make anything happen, of course, with the caution coming out right away. So let's see what's going to happen with him lining up second on that inside.
We've got 63 laps to go, and we ran 45 in the first stage, and they were talking about being close on fuel. So, I mean, if we have enough cautions, maybe some of these guys can play a fuel strategy game. Maybe some of these guys are willing to roll the dice. But if we, for some reason, go green, we are set up for at least one more pit stop. Green flag is out. Ellis Wells gets off to a great start there. See Brian Lorenzo not getting as good of a restart. Gino Morrow is actually going to be on the attack for second place right now. Here comes Gino Morrow. Almost to the outside of the leader there. He carried a head of steam down that back straightaway. Now Brian Lorenzo going to cross back over and get underneath the 95. See how the 95 responds. If he's able to do anything about it.
I don't think he's gonna. You mentioned he carried it into turn 3 on the end of the back straightaway last lap, and he almost paid the price for it because he lost so much time down the front straightaway. Going to lose this third position, I believe, to Ollie Reeves. Indeed, he is there as he washed up just a little bit. Now he's got Cody Rio right behind him.
But the 95 gets back in line, so right now, if he can just keep it down low, he's still in the top 5.
That aggressive move really did not pay off because he just really lost the nose in the center of 3. You could see he had the lid really big, and these cars are so momentum based. They're so draggy that if you lose your momentum, you're going to lose a couple spots, especially on a restart.
And how about somebody who's had kind of a wild night now showing his head a little bit up here towards the top 5 in 7th place? Jackson Glen Austin able to get up to 7th.
Just behind the side-by-side battle between Cody Rivera and now Alexander Schumacher on his outside in that 68 car, trying to race with 36 going into turn 3. He's going to clear him.
Brian Lorenzo still running in 2nd. Ellis Wells leading the way. Ollie Reeves up to 3rd. And Morrow still trying to chase back down the positions that he lost in that 4th position.
Got close to dipping some tires there off it on the turf if he didn't, because he was really poking to the inside there of Ollie Reeves, trying to force the issue into turn 1. Got his car there on the inside. He made his presence known. Couldn't quite make the deal stick on the end of the back straightaway, so Ollie is going to clear him back into turn 3 here.
Yeah, we've seen that a couple times with that AstroTurf, and because it's not real grass, you can actually drive on top of it and actually make a little bit of a move if you're really that desperate. So,
how about this 68 of Schumacher up here in 6th or in 5th place in the top 5? Haven't said his name much tonight, but he's up here in the top 5.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say the field got kind of single-filed out and spread out, and everyone minding their own P's and Q's, but up front, Brian Lorenzo has caught back Ellis Wells and gone to the outside lane trying to search for something here and go for this lead. Now right back down to the bottom, but right there behind the 57 bar calling back.
Brian Lorenzo searching, trying to take advantage of anything he can get over Ellis Wells right now.
First side-by-side battle is quite a few callings back in the 7th position. It's going to be Luke Mahone trying to get that spot from Jackson Glen Austin, who we mentioned a few moments ago. Got forced to the middle lane with the 5 car to his inside, but Jackson's going to be able to keep that spot now.
And with 52 laps to go, we are quickly approaching that window where you can confidently say, I can make it on fuel. Parker, I'll throw the question over to you because I know you like to play gambles sometimes and strategy. Do you pit early and say run it long? Oh, it's Glen Austin grabs the wall there. Do you run it long by pitting early, and does it pay off, or do you wait and run the run all the way out and then pit?
Well, it all depends on the situation that you're in. It's not the answer you probably wanted, but um, usually when it's a stage like this, my initial plan will be to cut it in half, just even halves. But depending on when my competitors will pit, you either want to pit that next lap, or if you're gonna go long, you cannot go long 2 or 3 laps. You have to make it 10 to 15 laps, so you have a tire offset so that you can make up the difference. You got to make sure you have enough time to make up that difference when you do pit.
It's back here. We're still watching the battle for about 7th to, I'd say, 11th between Glen Austin down to Doran. These drivers in these cars are just stuck together, side by side, constantly.
Yeah, we've had a few moments to the center of the corners where I believe Seth Warren will blink out a couple times and then reappear and kind of throw a few off their rhythm, really, off the lane, and be almost a moment, but they all keep it under them and doing great jobs at it. And even when it's not the 81 blinking, it's the 5 getting tight, or the 21 just pushing where he is, or pinching the 2 on the inside lane. So these guys really fighting for every position out here right now. Bomo is going to be able to clear Jackson Glen Austin for that position down the back straightaway, as they are 3 wide further back behind him. Believe there was almost a moment with Shaki Tupley again off turn 2, and he got put 3 wide, and it's going to be close. Yeah, can't tell who that's on the outside of him.
That's
believe it's the 23.
Borowski.
Yeah, Nicholas Borowski did a good job there with the 25 just inside of him.
And the 30 of Miles, you were talking about the moment, that was Tarpley trying to hold off the 30 of Miles, throwing a block down the back straightaway. One of those blocks that would probably get a driver. Guys, we all know what happens when you throw a real big block. But yeah, one of those type of blocks was thrown by Tarpley, and it almost did cause a big moment there, Adam, as you mentioned.
Those big blocks, can't throw too many of those, and you got to know who you're throwing them on, because if you're throwing them on a real aggressive driver, they will not lift. Me, I might lift, but other people, they will not even think twice about keeping it in the throttle and wrecking you.
Well, and we've seen that a couple times in other leagues that we broadcast here on JCTV. We've seen some blocking that doesn't work out so well in leagues like Slide Job, and I think we've seen it a couple times in ITPN as well. So I mean, yeah, this is a newer series to JCTV, but all in all, the rules of racing still apply everywhere you go, and I'm not surprised to see blocks being thrown, and I wouldn't be surprised to see some accidents happen because of poor blocking. Seth Warren is gonna get into the 26 of Doran. And that was almost a big moment. They keep it straight and they keep it going. Up front, Wells has not been able to run away from either of these 2 drivers. Ollie Reeves and Brian Lorenzo are sticking it right to him. As we have a caution on the speedway.
28 is spun backwards on the trial. Another car involved with him.
That 28 car, that is
going to be the 23.
Brad Zawinski, and he'll tow it to pit lane.
Nicholas Borowski is driving away from the scene. He is still under power, but limping away. I think the toe link's broken on that 23 car.
Looking at the replay here, you see them battling hard side by side, and as both of them come together, the 28 ends up hooked, and the 23 is just all but killed.
That was the battle for 14th at the time. Oh, and 23 got drilled by Matthew Green. I think that might be where the tolling damage is from on Borowski if it wasn't from heavy wall contact. I saw Green go flying through the infield off some air, but I thought he just might have caught the Volvo chicaning, but he did pierce the 23 car.
Riding on board here with Nicholas Borowski. See the 28 to his inside. Right about here. Ooh, maybe a little bit of net code. 28 might have caught the apron, but net code kind of pulled these two cars together. And man, I don't know how Borowski is still driving. But you see from the hand motions, no, Adam, I don't think the contact he got broke the toe link. I think just the wreck in general broke the toe link.
Meanwhile, the race off pit road is going to go to Brian Lorenzo again.
That's 2 times now that Wells has lost the lead off of pit road. Just wonder if he's not as aggressive in the box. I mean, he's got the first pit stall. You'd think that would be the very big advantage.
And we have another car limping on the back straightaway and coming to a stop. It is Matthew Green. I think he also has, if not a toe link, heavy damage to that 24 Camaro after we saw that contact on the front straightaway. So he's going to lose a lap here.
Indeed, does look like that 24 is just trying to limp it back to pit road. Looks like it's pulling to the left a little bit. So maybe you're right, Adam. Maybe it's a steering issue of some kind of toe link broken. Looks like he might just stop here and tow it the rest of the way. No, he's going to stop and then pull to pit road.
Yeah, I think he was just letting those guys opt to pit road if they wanted to, though. Making sure he didn't ram into anyone with his broken car they were trying to pit.
You see the heavy right front damage to his car. As he'll pull it to pit road and come to the service of his team. But as mentioned, Brian Lorenzo winning another race off pit road. Ellis Wells talked about it in his interview when he won the stage. He's not sure what Brian's doing, but Brian has done it again. And yet again, Brian gets control here for the restart. But with 40 to go, guys, everybody pit right there. We should be good to the end from here.
Yeah.
This is where, sorry, Adam, but this is where things are probably going to ramp up because you don't really have to, definitely don't have to worry about fuel and tires, not quite as much with the 40 laps versus 45 laps, but all depends on where you use them. So this restart should be a lot of fun.
We're going to go green with 39 to go when we cross the line. Brian Lorenzo, Ellis Wells, Gino Morrow, Ollie Reeves.
Green flag, green flag.
Cody Rivera, your top 5. We are green. Little stack up on the outside there. Looks like Ellis Wells didn't get going, and the 26 of Doran runs in the back of the 31 of Ollie Reeves. Now you see him single file out. Looks like Morrow's going to try and make a move again here on a restart.
Yeah, we saw some blocking there. Oh, we got one car on the inside. It's going to be the 18. He saved it way on the flat back there off of turn 2. But we saw some blocking up front. Ellis Wells immediately jumped to that inside you mentioned to get back in line. We have another spin. It's the 81 going all the way through the grass, catching the air. He's still going straight, though.
Somehow, some way, we keep it green. But as advertised, the intensity between these drivers is ramping up. You see them all going for it. You see Jackson Glen Austin trying to make a move to the bottom here.
And up front, Ellis got really wide off turn 4. Ollie Reeves was to his outside. They both washed up and lost a spot to Gino Morrow. 36 took advantage of 31, and so did the 55 though.
And Just seen the 36 go really wide on that corner. Not sure if he was just trying to build a run or if he got tight, but the 36 went really wide there. And yet again, he's in the wall. Ollie Reeves almost runs in the back of him. Doran trying to take advantage.
And Alexander Schumacher is going to follow Doran through this.
Oh, Ellis Wells putting the bumper to the 95 Amaro.
Yeah, we heard how much in that interview how much he wanted clean air. He doesn't have it right now, and then lost that spot to Gino on the restart.
And now you've got 4 cars going into the corner 2 by 2. Ellis Wells will clear Morrow. Doran trying to take advantage of Morrow. But do we see Morrow paying back? There's a car in the background. Looks like they saved it, but they went hard left off turn 2.
52 of Brian Lucan, he did save it.
So we will stay green and keep the focus on the battles up front. Alright, now Brian Lorenzo continues to lead from Ellis Wells, Gino Morrow, Cody Rivera's, and side by side. Oh, actually, the 26 of Doran blinked out there, but he reappears in the 4th position. So put Doran in front of Rivera's. And then Schumacher and Reeves battling for that 6th and 7th position.
And James Beaumont, a huge send to the back bumper of Luke Mahone now into turn 1. Those two racing for the 8th position, trying to get a little bit closer to Ollie Reeves and Alex Schumacher, who mentioned side by side for P6. They continue to battle.
I just seen Lucan lose it again off of turn 2.
More issues for Cody Rivera's. I don't know if he got loose off turn 4, just really tight there, because he was really slow on the bottom compared to these guys, and Ollie Reeves now was outside. So is Schumacher and Mahone trying to get momentum around this 36.
So Cody Rivera is yet again another time where we see this 36 falling back here through the field. See if he can try to rebound here as we come up for 31 laps to go here tonight. And Ellis Wells has caught Brian Lorenzo.
He's rolling that center very well, trying to get to that bumper. I wonder if he's going to try the bumper move like he did with Gino Morrow.
This is shaping up to be. Sorry, Game. This is shaping up to be the opposite of the last stint before that caution came out, because Lorenzo caught Wells and was trying to switch around all over to get around the 57. Now roles reversed here.
Roles reversed, but we've already seen how bad Wells wants this win. He moved Gino Morrow. I expect that he would move Lorenzo for the win too. $29 to go. Intensity's only going to keep picking up from here.
Mentioned Brian Lucan's issues off turn 2 the last couple laps. He has parked it for the night, I believe.
Indeed he has. I don't see the 52 out on track anymore. 23, Borski is still out there with his damage to his car, just trying to make laps and finish the race. Currently sitting 10 laps down. So if he finishes the race, he will finish top 20 with Lucan retiring.
Just behind these leaders, the battle between Ollie Reeves and Alex Schumacher is still going on until Cody Rivera stuck his nose in there, almost made it 3 wide, ruined the momentum the 68 had rolling on the bottom, and now Rivera's trying to take that position away, but here comes Luke Mahone trying to do the same thing Rivera's did last time by.
Reeves trying to set up the 95 of Gino Morrow to see if Ollie Reeves can move up into the 4th spot.
But behind him, 25, Shockey Tarpley, we saw him spinning and go into the inside wall a little while ago and back into the top 10, fighting for the 8th position now with Schumacher there on the outside.
Good recovery for Shockey Tarpley. Driver doing a great job as right now he's 3 wide coming off the corner.
That was a bold move.
Yeah, Bomo had a huge run and took it.
He did a good job clearing them both. Outstanding. Give a little shout out to Austin Duran because he started out in the 21st place, and through his blinking issues and all, he has done a great job to fight his way into this top 3. And as long as he saves his tires a little bit, he'll finish there.
There you see Austin Duran currently 3rd, and he started 22nd, been as low as 17th, and right now this is his highest position he's been in the race. So good run for this 26, even though it has 55 on the doors. A good run for this driver out here tonight.
Wells has kind of lost touch a little bit with Lorenzo here out front. Oh, that could either be 2 things. He burnt up his tires trying to get to him, or maybe he's trying to cool them off to try and make another stab at it. But I think he's fallen off a little too far to just be cooling them off.
Yeah, he lost over 2/10 that last time by. But we're coming to 25 to go, 27 to go, excuse me. So still have enough time to mount a late race charge, I believe.
22 laps.
I can't count.
Adam.
Excuse me.
ACC.
As Brian Lorenzo continues to lead, does look like Wells has fallen off quite a bit here. Now the lead up to a 2nd. And just a little under a 2nd behind Wells is Doran. If Wells keeps falling here, Doran could steal 2nd.
Gino went off big time.
Yeah, big time.
He went through the AstroTurf, come up in front of the field.
Ollie Reeves had nowhere to go. I don't not know how he did not just have a huge pile up on the front straightaway. That was insane driving from Gino through the grass, through the turf, in the air. But better job by Ollie Reeves not destroying his car by ramming in the back of him despite that. Wow, everyone's still right here together, still.
Rivera is trying to find his way around Morrow now, as Reeves trying to just catch his breath still after what happened. Laps to go. Ronzo's lead is up to 1.2 seconds and climbing. Parker, I'm starting to think what you said earlier. I think Ellis Wells burned his stuff up there, just trying to battle for that lead.
Yeah, we saw him rolling the center really good when he was behind Lorenzo, and that's partially just him being impatient with the throttle, because if you're very impatient with the throttle, it's a great way to burn off that right front in this car. So it wouldn't shock me if he's probably pushing a little bit.
One thing I don't think is going to be an issue, but to keep in mind, 23 Nicholas Borowski is about 6 to 7 seconds up the road from Lorenzo right now. So what line he runs could come into play in effect of where that 77 catches him.
Brian Lorenzo still stretching out. 1.3 seconds is the advantage now. He gained another 10. it looks like it's starting to hold a little steady. Also starting to fluctuate back down a little bit. 1.2. Back up to 1.3. It looks like Wells might be better in 1 and 2, but Lorenzo is that much better in 3 and 4. 15 laps to go, and that Velocity Designs number 77 is just trying to check out and pray that there is no more cautions that can ruin this race.
Well, I'm watching a 7-car pack right now for the 8th position. So if there's going to be a yellow, I think it's going to be from one of these guys, unfortunately, because James Beaumont, Shockey Tupley, and the 5 guys behind him are racing so aggressive right now in the last 2 or 3 laps. Oh, there it goes.
Oh, my God. He's going to go through the AstroTurf.
Saved it. He's revving up, though, through the turf you mentioned. Maybe contact there with Matthew. No, they saved it somehow.
I mean, they're sitting here racing like it's a straight-up pack race. It's 8 racing back here.
Well, that weeded out about 3 of them there from that pack, but this is still... Brandon Fielder is pushing Shockey Tupley into the corner. They are racing like a pack race right now, Jonathan.
Yeah, in real life, you always hear drivers say it's a lot harder to race back deeper in the pack, and it couldn't be more true. People just race more tooth and nail. It's insane how hard people race back in the pack. I feel like, you know, top 2, 4 spots, you have a lot more give and take, but there's no give and take with the back half of the top 10.
Well, and Adam, this is what we've become used to with this league in terms of the weeks we've been following them. This next-gen car and the tracks we've been to have produced some really unpredictable pack-type racing. And I think even going back to last week, we expected it to kind of string out a little bit, but it never really strung out. They were stuck in a pack all night. And yet again here tonight, I mean, up front, it's pretty strung out, but we still see cars stuck together here towards the back half of the top 10. As we come across the line with 11 to go, it's all Brian Lorenzo now. 1.8 second gap, down to 1.7 right now, but it would take a tall mission for Ellis Wells to be able to run down this 77 right now.
Oh, Brandon Fielder caught the wall off turn 2, and West Gallo all the way onto those bumps on the back again. But everyone gathered it up, and West sends it deep into turn 3 again. But these guys still keeping it right up here on the edge of their seats here for this 8th position, while James Beaumont trying to drive away from it.
10 to go, and Adam, I already said it once, the 77's praying for no caution, but these guys back here, they're racing hard, and a yellow could come out at any moment with the way they're racing each other.
They're fixing to bring one out. They're just on edge.
You see West Gallo there going to make the send on Brandon Fielder for that 10th position. Move West Gallo into the top 10 for the first time here tonight.
Now looking on the outside of Shockey Tupley already, maybe trying to get 2 passes here on this lap, but it got really loose there off the exit of the corner there after having regrouped down the back straightaway. A huge run here though for him.
One of the only Toyotas in the field right now, and he's trying to make some moves. He and Brandon Fielder both sporting that Toyota. That was close coming off of 2. I don't know if Tarpley knew how close it was. He tried to tuck back in line, and I think he might have just gave a little tap to West Gallo. Gallo and Tarpley fighting hard for this 9th position. 7 laps to go here. Back up here, these 4 drivers are still within really close proximity of each other. Almost a battle, but not quite a battle yet. It looks like Mahone trying to make a battle go his way between himself and the 95 and Gino Morrow. And I think just in front of them, Ollie Reeves just caught the wall a little bit.
Meanwhile, behind him, Shockey Tarpley has caught the wall the last 2 exits of the corner, so he's going to lose that 9th position to West Gallo Hill easily.
And that pack that we were just talking about a minute ago has all but diminished and spread out now as we have 5 laps to go. And up front, it's all Brian Lorenzo. 2.8 seconds is the lead. He is just stretching this lead out as we get later and later into the run.
Ollie Reeves trying to get spot on Cody Rivera's here into turn 3.
Brian Lorenzo is going to cross the line for 3 laps to go. Ollie Reeves has caught this 36. Looking inside here going into turn 1. As they come down the back straightaway, and Morrow's going to throw a block on Mahone down the back straightaway. Now the 31 will clear. Will the 36 cross over? Doesn't look like he will. Brian Lorenzo going to come off of turn 4, and he'll see the white flag this time by. Yes, final lap here from Charlotte. Brian Lorenzo got the lead on the last pit stop, and he has not looked back since, stretching the lead out to 3.5 seconds. He absolutely dominated the final run of this race. He got it done when he needed to get it done. The 77 of Brian Lorenzo is going to be your winner here tonight at Charlotte in the Coast to Coast Cup Series. Second place is going to go to Ellis Wells. Third to Doran. Fourth to Ollie Reeves. Fifth to Cody Rivera. Sixth is going to go to Gino Morrow. Seventh to Luke Mahone. 8th is going to go to Bomar, 9th to West Gallo, and the 10th position is going to go to that 30 car of Miles.
Shockey Tarpley faded to the 11th position there on that last one, while Brandon Fielder crossed the line in 12th. Alexander Schumacher also fell back to 13th. Jackson Glen Austin finishes in 14th tonight. Tristan Troll finished in 15th despite that run through the turf, and Drew Webb 16th. Patrick Urlioso gains a spot in 17th. Brandon Fowler ends up 18th, and Nicholas Borowski retired in the 9th. Just stopped just before the finish line, 11 laps down in 19th, while Seth Warren disconnected in the 20th spot.
Yeah, cars of trouble. 3 cars of trouble were Brian Lucan in the 52, finishing 21st. Finishing 22nd, Matthew Green, and then ending out the cars who started the race was Brad Sawinski in the number 28.
77, burning it down here tonight. Getting the victory on throwback night here for this Coast to Coast Cup Series.
Definitely didn't expect anyone to have quite that much from Ellis Wells, but once he got ahead, you just yarded him. I didn't expect that really out of Brian Lorenzo, but he proved me wrong.
Yeah, I thought we were going to see a fight to the finish there between those two before they separated, and then yeah, definitely once Lorenzo built the gap, it was definitely race over there because he was able to pull away and do a great job there and dominate the last stint there. And what is a job from him after those pit stops just to control the race.
Yeah, winning that race off pit road was definitely the key there.
And fought back on the restart because he lost the lead right away on
That
a
is true.
caution.
Okay.
So we will get started with our evening interviews. Trying to just get everyone pulled up here so we can have a chat with them. Adam, you were going to interview our third place driver, but I think while we wait on him, we'll go ahead and talk to our second place finisher here tonight.
All right, let's see if we can catch up with Ellis Wells. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, it's the guys in the JCTV booth. You had pretty dominant race there in that first half we talked to you about. You didn't get that clean air. What happened on that restart to lose the lead to Brian after the first one where you were able to get the lead there? What changed the race there in your opinion?
Well, obviously the caution coming out screwed me, and then I almost missed a shift on the restart, but it was enough that I wasn't able to get that position back, or I got close to him. I would have had to shunt him, but I don't like racing like that, so I didn't do it. But I'm not happy. I'm not happy about that. Maybe I might feel a different way. Usually I'm fine with just the results in the ways races go, but I think the caution being caused by two people that I'm talking to during the race, and when I said like half a lap before that a caution would screw me, and then they go and cause one like that pisses me off. I was great the rest of the race, but that was the worst outcome in my eyes that could have happened.
Well, like you mentioned, you were able to catch Brian. You didn't want to punt him, so what was going through your mind as you probably felt the tires wearing there and laps clicking out there?
I knew that going high wouldn't have worked, not because I'm not able to run high, but just because Brian's fast and like the high side works, but the person in front of you, it wouldn't have worked on Brian. It just wouldn't have. But I still had the speed to keep second, but I wasn't able to keep him. I didn't have clean air. So even though I was able to hug the paint, do what I needed to, that what I needed to do wasn't enough. It just wasn't enough to do anything about it. It sucks.
Absolutely. Well, who do you want to shout out for getting you here tonight? Still a second place result. Who do you like to thank at post race here tonight, Charlotte?
My team, Zenith, they're still doing what they need to do in order to get us this team championship. I think Cody's still a good guy to practice with. He knows what he's doing. He runs the league nice. He's smart about certain decisions. That helps. Those are the main ones. I guess. Yeah, we're just gonna try to gun for the team championship to try to get Zenith. I'm still gonna run for the drivers championship, but this might have been my best chance to get a win, so that's just annoying.
All right. Well, thanks, Ellis, for your time. Congrats on the second place run, and sorry I wasn't one spot better for you.
Yeah, thank you. It is what it is.
Well, that is our stage winner tonight and our second place finisher, Ellis Wells, understandably upset with the way things transpired for his outcome tonight.
And John, I believe you've caught up with our race winner since our third place driver has not shown up here tonight. But yeah, I believe you've caught up with our winner here tonight.
Brian Lorenzo, this is Jonathan Parker at the JCTV booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, man, loud and clear.
Yeah, walk me through really that last run, because you got the lead off of pit road and you fought Ellis Wells, held him off, and kind of yarded him. Walk me through your thought process of how you did that.
Heading into that final run, getting the lead back on pit road was definitely nice. In the first stage, I was pushing, like I was trying to hot lap, trying to get past these dudes getting to third, and I was still gaining and keeping up with the leaders despite my tires feeling like they were killed. So once I got the lead, it was just like, if we could do it then, passing cars and still competing with the leaders, if we have the clean air now, we can definitely pull away on this run, and that's what happened there.
Yes, he did a very good job. Were you doing anything differently on pit road? Because you got the lead on him twice on pit road. He lost the lead both times. Y'all had pit stops. Were you stopping deeper in your box, or do you think you just better overall on pit road?
Yeah, first shout out, even though I know they're a bunch of NPCs, shout out to the iRacing pit crew, man. they were cooking up down there. And it's not even that, it's just the pressure of being in the lead. I've been through that. I've lost a lot of races down pit road, and when you have that first stall, you think it's an advantage, but it's just so much pressure. So I think Ellis just either missed his box or just didn't get it as well as I did. When we got that second caution, at the stage, let's start with the stage. At the stage, I wasn't expecting to get it, but I aced it. I aced it. And ended up passing two cars, and then coming into the caution after the stage, I knew that I had to get the lead back because I messed up just a little bit, and I gave up the lead to Ellis. But yeah, I was just on his bumper, entering pit road, NASCAR style, and it was just an amazing exit.
Yeah. Do you have anyone you want to give a shout out to for this victory here?
Yeah, man. First of all, my own brand, Velocity Designs, for coming out. Myself, of course, making the paint scheme. Shout out to Harvick. He's retiring this year from NASCAR. This is his first win in 2001. He won in his third start, which is amazing for a rookie, especially in the old era, because rookies did not have it easy back in the day. Next thing, shout out to Equipment Geek Racing for giving me the opportunity to not only win races and compete no matter the series, just to come out and have fun. That's the main point. So thank you to Wes and them and my teammates for bringing me on the team, and we're looking forward to go back to back in championships in this league. I'd like to thank my secondary sponsors, Four Cloak Media and Pierce Graphics, for sponsoring any of my racing endeavors. Four Cloak Media, an amazing broadcasting group, and Pierce Graphics, the graphics provider for broadcasting groups all across iRacing. I'd like to thank you guys for coming out, watching the show. I know it's pretty late. You guys must be tired. So thank you to you guys for coming out.
I appreciate it. That was your winner, Brian Lorenzo. Thank you for your time.
Yep.
And with that, we were not able to get a hold of our third place finisher here tonight. But guys, what a race we saw, especially right there at the end with pit road being the determining factor of who got the clean air and who really ultimately ran away with this race. So, I mean, I'll open the floor to you guys. Just what were your thoughts on this race?
Yeah, it was really fun to see everything shake up with the strategy there, and the restarts were really fun, and it was so much fun to watch. The second half of the field really dicing for every position possible, because in the dirty air, it's a lot of fun to see these guys just struggle for every grip possible. But like Brian mentioned, just having that virtual pit crew come in clutch really was the difference maker, I think, tonight for 77. And The difference up front, really.
Yeah, it's just I couldn't believe the clean air mattered that much. It's like I said at the top, it was a very line dependent track, so I guess I should have seen that coming a little bit more. But yeah, Harvicking definitely was the best way to go about running that race, and the clean air was really the difference maker, and maintaining your track position was a big key there.
Well, and with that, that ends our night here for the Coast to Coast Cup Series. Tomorrow night, though, the DI9 NAOR Series does battle. And yet again, I have so many schedules to keep up with that I can't remember where they're going. But
Gateway.
Gateway. How did I not remember that? But tomorrow, Parker, you're going to be in the car at Gateway.
It's my natural habitat. Yeah, I don't know. That track isn't my natural habitat. I've never driven there. I don't know what to expect.
Well, we look forward to seeing you and all the other drivers of NAOR do battle there tomorrow night with the DI9 NAOR series. And Saturday night, we go truck racing with the In the Pit News Truck Series. And their next race of this, is this season 4 now? Yeah? Season 4.
Season 4.
Okay, as long as we're clarifying, season 4. But yeah, so they go racing Saturday night here on JCTV, and then Tuesday, the Slide Job MF Designs Premier Racing Series does battle at Darlington for their throwback race, where I get to hop in the car for that race after coming off a Dash for Cash victory at Watkins Glen. And then next week, we come back here Thursday nights, be myself, Adam Kuhn, and Jonathan Parker on the call for the Coast to Coast Series as they go to Iowa for their next round of racing. So, guys, halfway through this season already. And I mean, I know we weren't here for the beginning of it, but what we've seen so far has been great. And I hope these drivers keep it up. They're doing a great job. But that'll do it from all of us here in the booth. From Adam Kuhn, Jonathan Parker, I'm Jonathan Canfield signing you off. We appreciate you coming out here to JCTV and watching the stream here tonight. If you enjoyed what you've seen, please go to jctvracing.com and check us out. And until next time, I hope you all have a great night. Stay safe out there, and we'll see you next time here on JCTV.